There are some rumors about this world that seem unnatural. Some of those are called legends. These are split into two kinds, each with their own implications. Some are so untrue that you shouldn't believe them, and the others are so unthinkable that you wouldn't want to acknowledge them. If you're fortunate enough, some of the darker legends will pass right by you, and you won't need to believe them. But don't count on it. Sometimes, very rarely, you'll start walking somewhere unusual, and you'll be alone. And if you happen to glance to the side, you might see, for instance, a flash of green, just on the edge of your vision.
Ma, we have word from Djibouti.
What is it?
The lights are moving.
I'll be right there. Like any human, you want to look at it. You want to understand what this thing is. Don't. You have your warning. The lights are real. Ignore the lights.
About time we got something. Let's go.
Okay, they have an event horizon.
The one this small? They've done some catching up.
I'll go in.
Guys, stand clear.
See you outside. I'll get the death.
Thanks, I got the portal. Okay, let's go!
You okay?
I am. Still, I'll want to make sure the portal is set somewhere within the ideal range next time.
Kinda conspicuous for a secret mission. Think anyone saw that?
The mission is secure. I didn't see any potential targets. We're done here.
Good. Let's get back to ABYDOS.
We're back.
I can see that. I suppose everything went well?
Well, the smaller lights now have event horizons, so yay.
Although at least the Mark 13 models still work against them.
That sounds dangerous. Ma, any implications you've noticed from this?
From what I saw inside the event horizon, it looks like the lights are far older than we thought, by at least a decade. Which means we don't know how long they've had to evolve. Therefore, we need to recalculate everything. We don't know what they're actually capable of.
Djibouti, anything else on your end?
Well, no, nothing interesting at least. There is more information on...
If you mention Florida, I am going to whack you.
I'll keep that in mind. Cleanup in Florida is going as well as could be expected. A few minor bumps. But they'll be home by the end of the month. With all that said, then it's time we disperse. Good day, everyone.
Until later, then.
Bye. Hello?
Sorry about the early call. But we have activity.
Again?
Yes. We would like to see you within 18 minutes. Would 24 work better?
We should check for targets.
And for death. They have a habit of turning up in odd places. Rooftops, alleys. The jumping car.
It took us a week to get the car back.
It could drive?
Its head was on the gasoline pedal. I doubt it had any idea where it was going.
This is not the time for this conversation.
Why was the key even in the ignition? Ah!
On her, secure the targets.
On it. None.
What? Are you sure?
I'm certain. If it helps, I'm also confused.
Does it have to make sense? I'm laughing in the face of death.
How long have you been waiting to say that?
3 years. Why do you ask?
Let's get to the car.
No targets, you say?
I'm quite sure. I surveyed the entire area. There wasn't a single person there, dead or alive.
Well, that is distressing. That makes 3 abnormalities.
And the other 2?
Well, for one thing, it happened too soon. Normally there's a large break between the lights. This time, there just wasn't. The other thing is that, well, I normally sense the lights. A feeling of dread. It's more of a feeling of peace, tranquility, of relaxation. This. Which is even more creepy than a creepy feeling.
It can't be a trap.
Unless they have a walking death wish. How?
Such a sudden pair of occurrences could not be a coincidence. They're playing at something.
How do we stop it?
Well, I suppose the next step would be seeing where they pop up next.
And do we have a way to do that?
I've been running a few algorithms, and it seems the answer is yes.
When will that be ready?
Well, don't hold your breath.
What's that supposed to mean?
It means it'll take a while.
So, Maat, what's better, dabbing or T-posing?
Jabouti, wait for me.
What did I do?
I would say you asked the question.
We have the results. It looks like they're gonna show up here, here, and here. Looks like we've got about 3 hours. I'm gonna need the scanner.
Actually, perhaps it'd be best if I take the scanner. I'd like to tackle this head on.
Fine. Be careful though. I'll get the scanner ready.
I suppose you already know this, but it's best we arrive early. We've been lucky so far that the lights have been targeting abandoned places, but we might not always be that lucky.
Just in case that changes.
Knowing you guys, you'll probably just make something up. Scanner's in the car.
Alright, on her, Nepthys. Let's head out.
Okay, I'm picking something up.
Good. It's about time. You two, get out there. Fight the good fight. I'll guard the machine.
Understood. Jabouti, you better come over. There are 9.
The Reaping 9. So it's time.
What? I've only... No. Okay, Well, have fun taking down the lights.
We'll miss you.
No, we won't. You're not leaving.
On her, you know how this works.
She hasn't even been here as long as either of us have. She didn't choose to follow us.
You say that as if it makes a difference. She is one of us.
It doesn't have to be that way.
Anhor, you can't... Stay here. Smell like I'm killed. Anhor, stop. You're tampering with destiny.
The Reaping Nine only take one. I can go in her place.
No. This is about the forces of reality, not us.
We can't just leave her to die again.
Anhor, if you don't stop now, I will have to use force.
You'll do nothing! I made a promise, Jabalti!
You made it to yourself. Nephthys? Take the scanner and bring it to the car. We're all heading home.
What?
We're done here. We're done here.
So, what do we do now? With me, I mean.
With you? Frankly, I just don't know anymore.
Well, we can do more than just wait.
If only it were that simple. Quintessence runs the universe. Decides when to go, when to stay. And your quintessence missed its train.
Well, that's awkward.
To say the least. I'm sure Anhur's attempt to force his to leave didn't help either.
Just so we're clear, we're talking about Anhur saving my life.
Yes, he did. But at the same time, he endangered reality as we know it. When the lights say we go, we go. I'm not utilitarian. We're not going to abandon you or anything, but this puts us in a predicament. We don't know what's happening next. We can't even plan our next move.
So, until we get this predicament thing fixed, then all we can do is just follow the plan and hope for the best, I guess? Yeah. So, you and Anhur, you guys were talking about my...
It's really not worth getting into. I suppose it is, actually. As you probably figured out, then the obscure Egyptian god names are kind of limited. You're not the first Nephthys. The one before you was Anhur's mentor. I'm guessing you can see where I'm going with this. She died, he blamed himself, and the next female member that came along, he asked that she be given that name.
Me?
Ma'a, actually. It wasn't till years later that you came along. I thought it'd do more good than harm, and for a while it did. You see how much calmer he is than he used to be? Never thought he'd go this far. Never thought he'd go this far.
About the quintessence. I noticed yours was somewhat similar to the lights in color. So what's the...
This conversation isn't about me. I'd prefer it stay that way. Huh, Matt.
Thought you'd want me.
Yes, indeed. How's Anhor doing?
One could call it progress. I believe I knocked some sense into him.
I hope you don't mean literally.
How's Nephthys?
She's alright.
She's also in this room, you know.
So she is. I was about to tell her about how she's a special case.
You mean the fact that I'm not dead?
It's a little more complicated than that, if I may.
Of course.
Okay.
It's 3 months before you join ABYDOS. You've never heard of the Lights, the Walking Death, or our organization. And yet, you were followed by our organization. You were targeted by the Walking Death. You were smashed into the side of a building by a single strike by a Walking Death, and you fell 30 feet onto solid concrete, and yet you are none the worse for wear. Do you know why this is?
I'm in a movie with a lot of plot holes.
The reason you were tracking you is that our systems had labeled you as a potential target months before.
To be blunt, you're an odd duck.
The reason being?
We're not 100% certain yet. It looks like you've had some sort of latent quintessence inside of you before you achieved the quintessence inside of you now.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
We're not sure. But you're not dead.
The only question left, then, is why.
Well, if my experience has told me anything, it's that answers can be dangerous.
All too true. I'll have to be going now. I've heard the scanner's results have been interesting. Be good if you check that out.
Alright, sounds good. Are we gonna, scanner some stuff?
Let's. I assume you've never been here before.
Only a few times.
This is where we store all our data relating to the Lights. If you have any questions, they can wait.
Why are your shoes bright blue?
They're teal.
Yeah. Hey, that's great! Can we get a common string?
How do you know about that?
I learn things. Not as stupid as you think.
Interesting. It seems where the Lights are in mid-evolution, right here. They're weak enough that, with a single concentrated force of quintessence, we might be able to take down the Incursion. The only problem would be getting in the right place at the right time. And the right time is... there. 9 o'clock in the morning tomorrow.
It's pretty fast. Thought we got that info when we did. I'll tell the others.
Nephthys? Nephthys, can you hear me? Djibouti, we have a situation. It's Nephthys. She's collapsed. While comatose, at least she's stable now. Assuming nothing else weird happens, she should be fine.
I assume it's the quintessence?
It almost seems to be confused. My best guess is it started a routine checkup on the universe, and it was still inside of a human.
So the thought was back where it came from.
It's not worth trying to guess how the quintessence think, or what they are thinking. Will she be fine by the next mission?
Absolutely not. The only good thing about this entire situation, the quintessence seems to have realized what happened, and it's gone dormant. There's absolutely no chance she's going to be ready by the mission tomorrow.
Very well then. I suggest we all get the rest we need. But first, could one of you get Nephthys' family on the line? They need to be informed.
Way ahead of you.
Djibouti? I know I acted out of line.
Is there a point behind this?
I'm not going to just keep on watching more people die.
None of us asked for these rules. They are demanding at times, and sometimes feel downright unfair. But those rules are around for a reason.
What reason would that be?
Remember what Nephthys said about answers being dangerous? See you tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yesterday.
I think you're right.
The core should be over there.
Alright, let's move.
Something's wrong.
Guys, you're gonna need to see this.
What is that?
Nothing that should be there. But without Nephthys' quintessence returning, it should be no surprise that reality's left that much weaker.
And the lights can move that much faster. So this is my fault?
Yes.
What's important right now is that we handle the mission at hand. Understood?
Right.
Mark 13. Think it'll work?
Only one way to find out. That's a no. Ma, any ideas?
I have one. If two of us pool our power and direct it into that, we might be able to open a hole long enough for the third of us to get through.
Except whoever goes in there isn't coming back.
It's the only thing I can think of, and if we wait longer, a window will close.
Well, that's what's wrong.
I'll go. It's the only way.
Jabouty, this is my fault.
This isn't a debate. You know how this is. Best I do as much damage as I can over there instead of over here, am I right? I need a path.
You've got one.
I can fix this.
Nexus?
Jabouty, I have the quintessence because it shows me. It knew that this was going to happen, and it chose me to solve it. I can fix this.
I'll hold off the south front.
Thanks.
I was immature. I should be thanking you.
I have no idea what just happened.
You managed to sever the link.
In other words,
I think reality's stabilizing. For all intents and purposes, everything's back to normal.
something feels weird. I can't feel any quintessence or anything.
You don't have it anymore, do you?
I guess I don't, but I guess I'm alive. Does this mean I will be leaving ABYDOS?
We could use a technician. Besides that, you might see some people wearing black following you. Let's go home. The event, which for now I'll call Incursion, is over. Anhor made his remorse clear, but it may take him longer to recover emotionally. Thankfully, Maud's been reminding us that we're in this mess together. Perhaps our biggest realization, though, was about the quintessence. It seems that every time I think I've wrapped my head around them, they pull a new trick, as if to remind us how much we don't know. Their thoughts, their planning. Even keeping Nephthys alive. The circumstances were unusual, but it does give me hope. As unlikely as it sounds, we may be rid of our curse. One day.